already older and saying, like, why the fuck does everybody leave right when they're getting powerful?
Yeah, I think it's just part of it's grass is always greener. Part of it's just like you get anxious and you get burnt. You do get burned out. It's easier.
Wait,
like believe me,
how do you get burned out?
No, dude. I mean, this is not an easy job if you really. I mean, we all know it. I mean, like.
Yeah, you know what? I get burned out. I get burned out on the bullshit part of it.
Yeah, the higher you get, the more bullshit you have to deal with.
Dude, I have never once been burned out on the game part. Like, I love.
No, that's not it. Gets burned out, but like the higher, Sam, you know this better than anyone. I've only gotten a very small taste of it recently, having to go from meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting to meeting. That shit is soul sucking.
Well, and unfortunately, if you pay too much attention to the audience or the segment of the audience, there are a lot of people who got burnt out on that.
There's people that have been like, I can't do anything right.
Yeah. And it's sad because they actually were doing a lot right, and they were listening to the assholes who can't give credit.
We've had this conversation before, where like I read message board stuff probably more than I should, and everyone tells you not to pay attention to it, but I'm thoroughly convinced everyone pays attention to it, and it bums everyone out. Just some people are able to better. Well, other than John, I know John doesn't read any of it because John's too classy to read.
Well, actually, it's really weird. Like it's like don't pay attention to it, but do pay attention to it.
You gotta know how to filter it. Yeah, you gotta filter it here, like because like it'll get you like
there's that much left.
And I think part of that. Oh, sorry. I hope that didn't break anything.
How many people do I listen to this stupid feed, by the way?
Part of it, I don't know.
How many people are participating in this craziness?
Over 400 people.
No, we love you guys.
Oh my God.
But part of it is my own insecurity, in that I know I'm lucky and I don't deserve to be able to be doing any of this stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. Part of me knows I've earned it. I've put in hours. I've worked really hard.
I'm lucky. I don't deserve to be doing any of this.
But I don't.
Like
I said, the first episode, listen up. There's the Saved by the Bell, the new class segment of it, where you can only do it first once. Like between the One Up show and One Up Yours Listen Up, like it's been done, and so I have to figure out some way to do something. Which is why like the segments will be.
You know what I think influences me some?
And
do you guys know what the very first thing I ever did in like games journalism was? Sam, do you remember?
I mean, I know you did GameStop, but what, like before that?
Before that.
I mean, you did the AOLs?
Yeah, you did the AOL chat.
We talked about
you did that.
Dude, but, like, I think that really influenced me because, like, even like, this is, like, 1996 and 97, like, we would do the AOL's games room. I was a community leader for AOL games, and it was, like, it was such a sort of epiphany because what we were doing there is still basically what we're doing here. Like, admittedly, we were doing it through, like, text windows.
Right.
And it was AOL's text interface, but it was still the same thing. It was like a bunch of people getting together, talking about games.
I'm sorry, I was such an asshole on AOL Games Chat. Like, it was my first time on the internet. I got the CD, the AOL CD, and I just went on there, and I thought this was the funniest thing ever. I
have a story.
You know what's funny? I'm sorry. Even in '96, I had one button band.
Wait, they didn't.
Well, this is before '96.
They did not have CDs. It was diskettes at that point.
Oh yeah, it was a
stayed over because. Like, we were pretty poor. We were pretty poor. We didn't have a computer. We didn't.
Right. What was the first online game you played?
First online game I played was, I believe, TIE Fighter.
TIE Fighter. Okay.
I believe.
John. Oh, John's gonna reach back.
It goes. I don't remember. It was so long ago. I remember the one that I could tell you the first game that I played regularly.
Okay, that's fine.
Was Doom.
Ooh, I remember another one that. I remember, maybe this was before. I remember staying at a friend's house and playing NBA Jam over X-Band on Super Nintendo.
Oh, shit. Okay, good.
I played the original Mud.
Oh, jeez.
Do you guys remember GE? Do you remember Genie? GE, which was General Electric's interactive... MechWarrior was on that.
You know what's amazing?
You could buy
the MechWarrior games. I remember those.
They were good.
Someone the other day tweeted like the AT&T ads, the "You will do this" ads. There's all these ads telling you what you will be doing in the future. And it's amazing how many things they got right.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't seen it, it was on Twitter and a lot of people.
Yeah, but you know what? Beyond
John already BlackBerry.
No. Beyond the things that they got right, though.
I turn my phone back on. I got a note from my wife saying, "God, you're still going."
No, but I mean, beyond what they got right, what astounded me was how much things had changed in that time. These predictions had to be made as like wacky ideas of the future.
But it's the amazing
5 years ago.
The amazing
By the
thing
way,
is,
John, you're tremendously lucky to have Dre.
I am very much that she put it up with this.
I was gonna say, like, I met her for the first time at PAX, and like
She's pretty wonderful.
as classy as you are.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, like just an
No, she's
awesome.
about 10 times more
Well,
classy.
maybe.
She has the edge on the classy, I think.
Yeah, but like just a sweet, nice person.
I've never
like,
seen her naughty bits.
Oh, that's
Hey, throw something at
Sorry, it's like recent proximity to Ben Judd.
Oh God! Did you hear the story of when Ben Judd and Patrick met? At TGS?
Oh God, yes, it was.
Literally within like 10 seconds, they were talking about penises. Size.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
All right then. So, well, so those of you who have hung on for the extra thread afterwards, you got quite the treat.
bonus.
I'm glad we actually.
Genius idea, David. Another good genius idea.
No, I wish I had spent more time. And actually, I wish we'd been doing this all along.
Yeah.
Probably. You should do it in your new show.
We wanted to do it for so long. Like we had so many conversations on how to do it, but there's always the worry that you'll say something that'll offend someone. But at a certain point,
The problem is you overthink these sort of things.
yeah, exactly. And I think that's the problem with kind of podcasting, games podcasts in general.
Yep.
And that's what I was trying to get out on the podcast, where that's the stuff that happened with One Up Yours and One Up Show. It just happened. It wasn't created. It just
So
became.
there's an interesting point about like what the benefit is of being in the business for a while is like, and certainly John has this and Sam has this and I have it to some degree, and David, you're building it, is that we have the luxury of being able to.
A message from my wife. Wait, what the fuck did he just say?
I said he has lovely naughty bits.
No, I think you said her.
I've never seen her
naughty bit.
No.
On the surface,
I said I've seen yours.
That's not what you said.
No.
He said I've never seen her naughty bits.
No, sorry.
And with the carried implication that he might have seen mine.
Right, which I assume was true.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Well, you guys can drink on that.
Well, you should ask Ben Judd about that.
What were you saying though?
So I think what happens is that is part of the difference between. It's interesting because we had that question in 4-Minute Warning. People were asking about, what's the difference between being a professional journalist and an amateur blogger. Is that part of the deal is the luxury that we have of having built those relationships is that we can do a show like this. And we can have some leeway to have a little editorial freedom that we don't have in writing, because obviously when we write something, it's very clearly, what's this?
Jeff was watching.
Oh, what did he say?
He said, this is from Jeff Canada, thoroughly enjoyed watching the stream, fellas. Great show. Congrats.
Thanks. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you.
That guy is stand-up guy.
He is super stand-up guy. He's like one of the reasons that I'm sort of okay with moving to LA. Which nothing against LA, folks. I mean, it's just if you're.
I love you, Jeff.
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, I love that stuff. Anyway, I think like part of what we get is we have some leeway because we've built the relationships, and if something bad happens, they know that they could, like, those PR people know that they could pick up the phone and call me or call you or call John and say, hey, dude, that really wasn't cool. Yeah, like this was something we talked about, or this was not something we were out there with yet, and we're going to work on this, or that was something that was said to you in confidence.
I think what would happen more often would be you'd have a conversation, and it would be like, I didn't tell you this. Wink.
Right.
Talk about it, just don't associate it with me.
Right.
Exactly. For instance, the thing about the libraries, which we know both happen on PSN and Xbox Live.
Fuck.
I mean, that's a really interesting story that, by the way, just came up on tonight's show. I don't think I've heard that reported anywhere.
I remember hearing that early on in the PlayStation.
What about
3,
PlayStation?
The network stuff.
You should kick that. You should kick that to your news guys.
Yeah, we should.
I'll probably
the magical news guy.
I'll probably kick it to Chris and Nick tomorrow.
Yeah.
You remember when we had Robert Bowling on in GDC, and he had to explain they had to create everything on the back end. I really think this PSN stuff is within the last year and a half. I don't think it was there all along.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like the whole forcing people, or like strong people to use the back end.
No. Listen to it.
That's strong arming.
Well, okay, no.
Do it for free.
It's Sony like,
yourself.
hey,
That's
we'll
strong
give you
arming.
free bandwidth if you use our shit, but it's like, otherwise, fucking pay for it yourself. That's not a big deal.
That is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
Well, if you're different, why should Sony give away bandwidth and have people do their own thing? I mean, because I'm live. They're giving the bandwidth because people are charged for it.
Party, right?
It was party and a half, I think. Party and a half.
Second party.
I mean, while there's still people watching, and we've had so much feedback, I want to read some of it.
Oh, yeah.
If